Hi, this is Jeffrey Kirk, author of the upcoming book 10 Million to 1, Refugee Resettlement, a How-To Guide. Today I would like to talk to you briefly about getting more people involved with refugee resettlement. Imagine I have a ball, and I'm going to drop it against the floor. What's going to happen? It's going to bounce, and I'm going to pick it up. But I'm going to take that ball, and I'm going to throw it harder against the floor this time. And you know what? It bounces again, and I catch it. But this time, I'm really going to put some force into it. I'm going to throw it down with all I've got. What happens? It bounces higher. I catch it again. So now I ask, you're imagining that. You saw me dropping the ball. Did you think ever that that ball was going to break? Probably not. But how did you know that it would not? I'm going to come back to this in a little bit. To get more involvement with refugee resettlement, we must take a look at what holds people back. Refugee resettlement is a new idea for most people. Therefore, it can be scary. Most people are worried that there's so much that can possibly go wrong. So it's really all about overcoming fears. What if you can get past the 3 big fears? What if you could not fail? What if you had a plan that could make refugee resettlement easy? In the approximately 8 minutes that remain, I am going to tell you everything you need to know to get past the fears that may be stopping you and others from getting involved with refugee resettlement. First, you need to recognize the 3 big fears. Number 1 is that you're afraid you might break the refugees. Number 2 is that you're afraid the refugees are already broken. And number 3, you're afraid the refugees will break you. Fear number 1, you might break them. Remember your imagination when I threw the ball against the ground? That ball was not going to break. Even if I was standing in front of you with a real ball against cement, that ball was not going to break. You knew it instinctively. The problem is you don't have instincts about refugees yet. So take it from those who do. You won't break them. In order for a refugee family to make it to the U.S., they have already proven ball-like resilience. They've been through much worse than any damage you could do accidentally. Even if you screw up handling something poorly, your efforts are still helpful in the long run. So there's absolutely nothing to worry about here. Fear number 2 is that they're already broken. Yes, refugees are broken in some way. By definition, they are in a state of fear of persecution, and they are outside of the protection of their own country. Some will show their brokenness physically, some emotionally, some a little, some a lot. Regardless of how it is shown, brokenness is there. It's best to simply accept this as fact. But think about the story of Superman. He didn't come to fight crime, but he came upon a broken world. With strength and speed, he could fix things, and so became a hero. But imagine if he had landed on a perfect world. He would have simply been an alien with unfair physical advantages. He could easily have been declared public enemy number 1 instead of a hero. In refugee resettlement, you are Superman who arrived on the scene of brokenness. You get to be the hero. Fear 2 can be set aside. What about fear number 3, that they will break you? This is the primary fear. The biggest concern most people have, that somehow they themselves will break in the resettlement process. Here are some excuses that demonstrate that people think they might get broken. It sounds too difficult to get started. We don't have enough money. I don't know how to do that. There's too much. It would be impossible. I'm afraid of the time commitment. Doing something like this makes me feel uncomfortable. The fear is real. The excuses are real. But there are 3 cures to prevent personal breakage. Cure number 1 is know why you are doing this. Cure number 2 is to plan ahead so you're not doing it alone. And cure number 3 is to divide and conquer. So cure 1, knowing why. Before you get involved in refugee resettlement, you must know why you're doing this. Why is much more important than how. You need personal reasons to help. Maybe you want to be an advocate for world peace or fight to alleviate hunger and poverty. Perhaps you want to learn about a different culture without leaving the comfort of home. Maybe you want a good excuse to learn a new language. Maybe you like to teach. Maybe you think that doing something good will make a difference and feel good too. Maybe you have an intense love for other people. Maybe you've experienced a spiritual calling. It is important that you have reasons. Concrete reasons why you want to do this, along with a long-term vision of a positive outcome, can develop into a passion to serve. That will carry you through the entire process and give you confidence that you can make a difference in our world. The second cure for personal breakage is planning ahead. If you add up the total hours, refugee resettlement does take a lot of time. You cannot do this yourself. Try it and you'll burn out, unless of course you are looking for an unpaid full-time job. The key to success is to have a team of at least 10 people, and 15 is even better. With a good group, the time and energy can be shared so that the process is not a burden on anyone. And this leads into cure 3. For the third cure, divide responsibilities. Your group needs a chairperson. Then find a leader of each subgroup. If you have a group of 10, then each person will likely be a part of several subgroups. Here's a quick rundown. The housing team secures suitable housing for your refugee family. The furnishings team furnishes the housing with all required items. The food team stocks the kitchen for the first 30 days. The clothing team provides adequate clothing for each family member. The medical care team assures that all family members receive needed medical attention. The employment team prepares all employable adults for work and helps with job hunting. The education team enrolls all children in school and all adults in English classes. The transportation team provides transportation for your refugee family until they can make their own arrangements. The finance team helps the family with money handling and financial decisions. And the public relations team educates others on the importance of refugee resettlement. What if you're really skeptical and you think the cures aren't good enough? What if the cures don't work? What if things really go wrong? What if all your worst fears happen? What if you think you are breaking them? What if the family is too broken already? What if they really are breaking you? What if you're burning out and just can't take it anymore? Well then, you have to remember who is ultimately responsible for this resettlement case. It's not you. It's the agency you're working with. They need to support you so that you can be the hero. If it's not working, you can step back out. So let's look again at those 3 big fears of refugee resettlement. Number 1, you might break them. Well, it's not going to happen. Number 2, they're broken. Yes, accept this fact and realize that you get to be the hero. And 3, they will break you. Not if you have followed the 3 cures. Know why, have a plan, and divide responsibilities. So as I wind down this presentation, there's one nagging question remaining. Do you have to create your own plan, or does one already exist? The answer is to follow a path that already exists. At my church, Ascension Lutheran in Waukesha, Wisconsin, by the time we were on our second family, we were already hearing a lot of positive feedback from the outside. Our pastors were hearing from other pastors about good things happening at Ascension. LSS, Lutheran Social Services, was telling other groups they should operate like ours. My wife and I started getting asked to talk to people at other churches. And I started wondering, what do we do that is special? Because we certainly didn't start out determined to do anything special. We just started with the purpose of helping one family. So about 5 years ago, I started writing down our process. What did we do when we learned a family would arrive? How did we organize our teams? What was each person responsible for? What attitudes helped with success? Over the past 5 years, I've refined the ideas with each new family that we helped. We talked about what we've learned and shared that with other churches too. Recently, I cleared my calendar of all other tasks so I could get this book completed so that more people could help more refugees. If the publishing works out on the original schedule, the book should be in print by the end of July or early August. You can visit 10millionto1.com/early to purchase an advance copy, or look to the upper right of this page and provide your contact details for future notification. Before you do that, though, I have just one brief story in closing. In September 2001, there were 2 small groups at work. One was committed to love, the other committed to hate. One small group began its work on September 7th. The other ended its work on September 11th. The first small group worked hard to provide a new life and hope to a single family. The second small group worked hard to take life away from thousands and hope from millions. The first group was blessed with help from God, and the outcome was wonderful. The second group's terrible acts made the news for a long time, even up to the present. Small groups of love don't get the same attention as small groups of hate, but I still believe that love makes a bigger difference. Be a part of the flow of love with Refugee Resettlement. Get a jump start today with a great book offer at www.10millionto1.com/early or click the link below. Thank you.